The period leading up to Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is a time I will sadly never be able to relive. The iconic game Five Nights at Freddy's, most times abbreviated as FNAF or 5NAF, would become such a hit in the jump scare horror game category that it would give way to several sequels, prequels, spin-offs, novels, an upcoming movie, and even a proposed dining experience themed off the fictional restaurant of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. But in the small chance you aren't familiar with the franchise, I'll fill you in. Five Nights at Freddy's is a 2014 point-and-click horror game set in a family entertainment center based off of real establishments Showbiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese's. While specific details are unendingly debatable, you play as the night guard for the restaurant, watching over 4 animatronics. Freddy, a brown bear who serves as the face of the fake franchise, Bonnie, a guitar-playing purple rabbit, Chica, a yellow chicken, and Foxy, a red pirate fox. As the night wears on, the animatronics try to break into your office and kill you. The player must strategically monitor the animals while keeping them out with electrical doors and lights, at the same time preserving power to avoid being jump scared. The game reached mainstream popularity after its release on August 8th of 2014, due to popular YouTuber Markiplier's gameplay videos. Naturally, such success led to a sequel to the first game. Today, I would like to talk about that sequel, my personal favorite in the series, in a lens that I enjoy it in. I want to try and preserve the feeling that this game gave me when it came out. I won't be discussing any deep lore, as I am not MatPat, nor do I desire to be. Whatever lore I do refer to will be based off my personal and incomplete knowledge. Let's just enjoy it as if it had released just yesterday. After the excitement over the first FNAF game came to a boiling point, teasers for a second game started to drop as soon as a month after the original's release. September 12th, a teaser image was uploaded of a seemingly more detailed yet tattered Freddy animatronic, with the number 2 and the words Grand Reopening written beside him, with a slated date of 2015. With a confirmed second game on the way, fans were excited to see more content from Scott Cawthon, the game's creator and later orphan father. September 28th, a second more teasy teaser was released. This teaser image either ruined my life or bettered it, I haven't decided yet. It depicted 2 rabbit animatronics sitting back to back, almost encapsulated in full darkness. The full set of teasers have this sort of dark theming to them. The animatronic on the left appears to be Bonnie from the first game, albeit with no face, seeming to have been gutted out. The animatronic on the right was a sky blue and white rabbit with green eyes and a red bow tie that appeared to have a smooth plastic texture rather than the fabric material covering the animatronics in FNAF 1. They are accompanied by the words something borrowed, something new. This teaser sent fans into wild speculation. The best functioning theory at that time was that the animatronics from the first game were dismantled or borrowed from in order to build new animatronics for a new Freddy's location. On October 7th, a third teaser image dropped on Scott's website which only strengthened this theory. It showed 2 animatronics partially hidden behind a purple curtain, the original red Foxy animatronic on the left, and a white and pink plasticky fox animatronic on the right. A sign in front of the curtain had only the number 2 on it. Otherwise, the image was again shrouded in darkness. At this point, fans began to throw around the idea that these dark, empty spaces were deliberate. Thus began the practice of raising the brightness of the teasers, a habit that would lead the fandom to new discoveries in the darkness for both this game and basically every installment after it. I remember doing this myself before this game came out. On October 15th, a 4th image released, featuring what appeared to be the point of view of someone peering through the eye holes of an animal mask, presumably a Freddy mask given the brown coloration and the shiny black nose. An eerie-looking red Foxy animatronic can be seen in the right eye hole. The words, "No place to run" and "Exactly one place to hide" are written across the top of the teaser. 6 days later, on October 21st, the first official trailer for the game dropped on Scott Cawthon's website.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Hello? Hello? Well, if you're hearing this, then chances are you've made a very poor career choice.
This trailer finally confirmed the theory that the first game's animatronics had been dismantled and recycled into new assets. It also showed off the first few looks at the gameplay, already doing away with the doors protecting you from the robot's attacks. Even only having been shown this small snippet of gameplay, this sequel appeared to be much harder and scarier than its predecessor. By November 9th, the final teaser was posted. The image was almost entirely black, with only a danger signal and the label for camera 2 visible. The only teaser with its focus completely obstructed by darkness. Brightening it showed the rest of the camera labels. The 12th camera focused in on what was called the prize corner. In the view of this camera was a tall, plasticky creature with a white face and a black body. The next day, Scott announced that the demo would be out on the 11th, with 2 nights available to be played. Some YouTubers were given access to a 3-night demo, just for demonstration purposes, obviously. On November 11th, FNAF 2 was released on PC, with a mobile Android port releasing by the 15th, and one for iOS on the 20th. I bought this game for my Switch, but I also bought it for Android a while after it came out. I don't think I've actually ever gotten past Night 5. Differences between this game and the first one become more apparent as you play through the first night. The game opens up exactly like the first, with a newspaper advertisement for a job opening at the grand reopening of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. This immediately discredits the first teaser's reference to a grand opening, and thus of a separate location, rather confirming that this is the same location as the first game, aka reopening of the first location. The first phone call explains some changes made to the improved location and its animatronics.
Hello and welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I'm here to talk you through some of the things you can expect to see during your first week here and to help you get started down this new and exciting career path.
They've been built to assure more safety, with facial recognition systems to pinpoint any threats.
Fazbear Entertainment is committed to family fun and above all, safety. They've spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility. They even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat?
Their heightened technology means the player must now wind up a music box to keep a specific animatronic at bay.
Our temporary solution is this. There's a music box over by the prize counter, and it's rigged to be wound up remotely. So just every once in a while, switch over to the prize counter video feed and wind it up for a few seconds. It doesn't seem to affect all of the animatronics, but it does affect one of them.
The player is also given a Freddy mask to trick any animatronic who wanders into the doorless room to leave.
So hey, we've given you an empty Freddy Fazbear head. Problem solved. You can put it on any time and leave it on for as long as you want. Eventually anything that wandered in will wander back out.
The player's office now has one large hallway down the center and an open vent on either side with a light mounted above it. Luckily, you're given a flashlight to light up the center hallway. This game is the first game in the series to implement specific methods of keeping each animatronic away. This made the gameplay exponentially harder than the gameplay of the first. The new animatronics are all finally able to be seen in full, with plasticky outer shells, more cartoony faces, and more detail overall. They weren't initially referred to as toys. The fandom kinda dubbed them the new version of whatever their counterpart was. Just as the first installment, Bonnie is always the first animatronic to start moving. New Bonnie appears only in the right vent and can have his movement cycle reset by putting on the Freddy mask. New Chica appears in both the hallway and your left vent and can be shooed away by the same method. The music box animatronic is kept away by keeping the music box wound. Should you fail at this, the animatronic will attack you with no way of avoiding it. New Freddy is always the last stage animatronic to start moving. He will appear only in the hallway, and you can put your mask on to get his cycle to reset. Foxy, called then as Old Foxy and now as Withered Foxy, is the first of the old animatronics to begin leaving the parts and service room. He shows up only in the hallway and is scared off by flashing your flashlight at him a few times. New Foxy, the only new animatronics to be given an official name in the game, is referred to as the Mangle. He appears in the hallway and right vent and can be reset if you catch her in the entrance and put your mask on. However, if you let him get into the office, she will climb onto your ceiling and stay there for a while before he attacks. You might be able to hear her drawing closer to you as he emits a constant static noise. Balloon Boy is the only animatronic who cannot kill you. Instead, should he get into your office, he will immediately drain your flashlight, leaving you defenseless against Foxy, who will then come after you and kill you. To stop him, you can refer to sound cues as he gets closer. He'll cycle through 3 phrases. Once the third one is played, the 4th noise should play once he's in your left vent. You can then put your mask on to scare him off. Old Bonnie could appear in your hallway or inside the left vent. You must allow him to come into your office and then quickly put your Freddy mask on to avoid being jump scared. The same goes for Old Freddy and Old Chica. who will enter through the hallway and right air vent respectively. Golden Freddy can be seen later in the game. He will either appear as a disembodied head in your hallway or sitting in your office. If he's in the hallway, you must not flash him again after you initially see him, and then wind up the music box. If he's already in your office, you must quickly put your mask on. This game is also the first game in the series to have cinematics, or short cutscenes. When you first boot up the game, the first cutscene plays, and you see what looks to be the previous restaurant through Freddy's eyes, with Chica and Bonnie on either side of you. Eerie childlike laughter plays in the background before the vision cuts to black in the fashion of a camera cutting, ending on an error screen. Once you finish the second night, the same scene plays out. The only differences being that Chica and Bonnie are now looking directly at you rather than out towards the dining room, and the screen instead cuts to the words, "It's me." This becomes a very popular phrase in Five Nights at Freddy's. Night 3's cutscene shows Chica and Bonnie standing directly in front of the player, with Golden Freddy now standing between them, the three staring at you with hollow, darkened eyes. This scene ends the same as Night 2's scene. The final cutscene can be seen anytime after Night 4. Chica and Bonnie have returned to their original positions, staring at the player. However, the music box animatronic, deemed the puppet or a marionette, follows your center of vision, face to face with you until the cutscene ends how both Night 2 and 3's cutscenes end, with the words, "It's me" in the top left corner of the black screen. Another new feature in the sequel are the death minigames. After you've been jump scared and you get a game over, there is a small chance that you'll get to play one of 4 minigames. All the games are played the same way, but have different objectives. They all have particular nicknames to differentiate them from one another, based on either elements of the minigames or a phrase present in it. These minigames do seem to paint a bigger picture of the story behind the animatronics and their behavior, but even now, any lore that can possibly be derived from these minigames is heavily debated on in terms of meaning. These games have a similar appearance and playstyle to a classic arcade game, kind of like an Atari game. The first of these games, named Save Them, has you play as Freddy, who must follow the puppet as it wanders through the restaurant, deceased bodies sitting at the sides of the walls. This game ends cutting to static once you reach a certain room, accidentally touch a body, or come across Golden Freddy, a random event in this minigame. The words "Save Them" can be heard being spelled out in the background. This game will also end abruptly if the purple guy, a purple man-shaped sprite, catches you. The game will cut to blue static instead of red, and the words "You can't" will display on the bottom left of the screen. Take Cake to the Children is another minigame in which you play as Freddy. Like the name suggests, you must distribute cake between 6 children, moving back and forth across a single room to do so. Giving the children cake will make them happy and keep them green in color, but over time, if left out, they will become upset and turn red. As you play, a 7th child can be seen just outside the playable area, crying. A purple car shortly pulls up to the child, purple guy then exiting the car and killing the child, who takes on a gray look, similar to the bodies in the Save Them game. However, in this game, the words being spelled out are instead "Save Him." The player begins to move slower and slower until all of the children turn red. The puppet will jump scare you, ending the game. In the Give Gifts, Give Life minigame, you play as the puppet. Similar to the cake minigame, you occupy a single room, moving back and forth across it to complete a task. You are first given the instruction to give gifts to 4 grayed out children. After this is done, you are then directed to, quote, "Give life." You then give an animatronic mask to each body, resembling the original 4 animatronics. The words "Help Them" are heard in the background being spelled out while you play. The game ends with Golden Freddy jump scaring you. The final minigame, Foxy Go Go Go, which sounds like it could be a fake miniseries animation in Ultimate Custom Night, allows you to play as Foxy. You exit Pirate Cove to a room full of children happy to see you, save for one. You repeat this twice, and on the third repetition, Purple Guy can be seen in the room with the children, now grayed out. The minigame ends with Foxy jump scaring you. These minigames obviously had the idea of deepening the lore of the first game, which they did successfully, rocketing the series even further into mystery. While I do appreciate this game for being an amazing sequel, and for bringing a lot of joy and intrigue into my life in the era leading up to its release, I am kind of dissatisfied by the fact that the game took the series into this territory. I know that the first entry had its little sprinklings of deeper story, but I've always just felt more like chalking the animatronics' odd behavior up to malfunction rather than possession. I honestly think that the notion of malfunctioning animatronics is scarier than any ghost story. I still prefer to see the games in that point of view, even with the lore behind the children and William Afton and his family being more clear, or less clear if you're anything like me. I love this game for the characters and the atmosphere that was built around the two sets of animatronics, and it will continue to be my favorite installment for this reason. I just want to thank you for watching this video. I saved the Five Nights at Freddy's topic to be my Halloween video, so hopefully I did a good job of making it look creepy enough, because I know I didn't make it sound that creepy. But I just think that the content alone should speak for itself as to why I chose that. Once again, I'd just like to thank you, especially if you stayed to watch till the end of I'd just like to thank you again, especially if you stayed to watch to the end of the video. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about. I really am one of Five Nights at Freddy's biggest fans, even despite the fact that I don't know all the lore. But truly, again, thank you for sticking around.